Hello and welcome to Perils of the Warp. I'm Roman, and we have,
I'm John.
and this is Grimworks Productions' first ever Warhammer podcast.
Yeah, woo!
Specifically, more leaning towards 40k and some 30k.
Maybe.
We haven't really delved into AOS or old school fantasy, so I love those. Honestly, I just don't have the models for them.
I spend too much money on the one game we do play.
But yeah, this is kind of issue zero, if you will, of the podcast because it's really just kind of an introduction and just a few bits of news that we have floating around for right now. And John, why don't you start off?
Well, we're gonna recap some of the newest things that have come out from GW. Some of the things that have started the next chapter in the Warhammer 40k storyline. And if I'm not mistaken, it all started with Magnus.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it was Magnus, right? He was before the Triumvirate.
Hmm.
Okay, so Magnus came out first ever Primarch in 40k.
Demon Primarch,
Demon Primarch.
to be exact.
It's a big bitch.
He is. It's ridiculous how big his model. He's as big as
A knight.
a knight, an Imperial Knight. So that should give you some scale on how big he is.
He's also very sexy.
He does have a lot of nip.
Yeah, yeah. That's he has nipples and a belly button.
Yeah.
For somebody that came out of a test tube. I'm a little curious. Did Zinch give him something else?
No, he didn't give him wiener.
I don't
That's
know,
that.
man.
That's Slanesh, baby.
I know.
Slanesh is all about
I know.
wieners. Fucking
But-
Fulgrim, since he's a demon prince, fucking wieners all over the place.
Yeah, he has tentacle wieners like
Yeah.
corn.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, Magnus has been in the warp
Mm-hmm.
for 10,000 years now, and when I get bored, if there's nobody else around,
You like pounding pud?
oh yeah, I'll go a little solo action, and that's because I'm fat and disgusting. This dude has a fucking 8-pack,
That's
and
true.
he's glorious. Like he can get laid.
Yeah.
Like anybody, just drop panties.
And he's kind of like he has like a mix of androgynous because his armor has like fucking like cone, like he has like a cone bra. So
And let's not forget that luxurious hair.
he does have. I'll be honest. I'm jealous of his hair. It's not fair.
Yeah.
But he does have one eye, so fuck him.
I got 2 eyes. At least I got that.
Yeah, they don't work very well, but I got 2 of them. You asshole. You changes me into a spawn, you bitch.
That is something he can do.
That is something you can do. But yeah, that pretty much kicked off. I mean, you can say that maybe it started with like the Warzone Fenris stuff that moved into like the 13th Black Crusade, as well as like the Traitors Hate and the
Those were just
Angel's Blade.
I mean, with the exception of the Wolfen, which are pretty cool.
Mm.
I've had them used against me twice, and they're dicks.
Yeah.
They're really awesome dicks, but they're dicks. With the exception of the Wolfen and the new Karn model, nothing really came from Trader's Hate except for the formations, the book itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Magnus was just straight up a whole new model of a never before seen character.
Mm-hmm. And with him, he kind of ushered in the Traitor Legions
Yes.
supplement, which Chaos needed.
Yes, it did.
I know a lot of people had some problems with it. Like, it's like, oh, it's not a new fucking codex. Honestly, I don't think there's new codexes coming. 8th edition is pretty much around the corner. And they're not going... I don't think they're going to release new codexes even for 8th edition anytime soon. Even when 8th edition does drop. I think they're kind of seeing like, oh, we can get... Honestly, they're getting a lot more money by doing these little, like, story... updates and the triumvirates that are happening and just little here or there models that they can release, and it's fine. They're making a lot of money, and honestly, I think it's better than just having like a fucking codex for one army and you're like, oh great, fucking Dark Angels or whoever fucking get the shaft. I say Dark Angels get the shaft because fuck, they get shafted. Jesus Christ.
It all depends. I mean, if you're looking for a book to be Space Marines, then play Space Marines.
True.
You know, I recently I played for the first time an army out of Trader Legions.
Mm-hmm.
I played Iron Warriors, and I built the list very much like I would have built my Iron Hands.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some tac marines and some big artillery, and that's it didn't do so very well.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I had completely forgotten about is that you get Veterans of the Long War for free,
Mm-hmm.
which gives you hatred against Space Marines. I wasn't using that. Add that to the fact that a regular TAC Marine in Chaos
Mm-hmm.
can, for 2 points, take a close combat weapon to give him an extra attack, which is something that Loyalists can't do.
Okay.
And then you add that to the fact that you can take 20 Marines in a unit instead of just 10,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a, a monster, a re-rolling 60 dice monster.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something you can get out of the Imperium. And if you want Space Marines, play Space Marines. If you want Chaos, then you gotta play to the strengths of your books.
Yeah.
Dark Angels, same thing.
Yeah, you gotta play to the strengths, and that's fucking Ravenwing. They're by far the best thing in that codex, and specifically Black Knights or the Command Squad. Uh, they're just too good. Honestly, they're so good. I wish they had a named HQ that was better, but then again, not everybody. That's everybody. Yeah. Um, but man, Samus looks so fucking cool on his fucking the last jet bike that's ever known to the Imperium. I don't know how the fuck they fix it because he just like rides it into battle like a motherfucker. Um, but yeah, as far as what I play, I mean, Dark Angels is my army, and I'm glad that Cypher with the new model.
So fucking.
Apparently, I got this from Trent. I have to double check, but apparently the Fallen, he has a detachment where he takes the Fallen, and they're basically just the command veterans or the company veterans.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
The Fallen is a detachment, and it's battle brothers with both the Imperium and with Chaos.
Yeah.
So you can play all the dirty stuff that Chaos has,
mm-hmm.
plus Dark Angel attack marines in drop pods for drop pod assault.
Oh.
Which is the one thing that Chaos had always been lacking was drop pods.
Yeah.
Well, now we got them. They're just green. That's cool. I like green.
Yeah. Fucking dark green, bro. Caliban. But yeah, I'm excited. Honestly, hey, whoever's listening to this, if you don't want your Cypher piece, let me know. I'll pay you for it because I want that model so bad.
You know, the Cypher piece, I do want one of my own. Um, I'd probably have you paint them because, you know, you're better at that sort of thing and you're already used to Dark Angel paintings games.
Yes, sir.
And of course, you know, my cousin Matt's going to want the Grey Knight Chapter Master.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really too excited about Gilliman.
I would love to paint him. That's as far as it goes. I don't. Oh my god, damn it! All right, sorry about that, folks. We just realized a little technical problem that we had, but we fixed it. But yeah, getting back to Gilliman, I'm not too sure about him, honestly. Uh, Ultramarines have never been my cup of tea. They have pretty good rules. I mean, all the doctrines that you can take are pretty awesome.
You can do with the right formation. You can do it 3 or 4 times in a game.
And I think Calgar, the named HQ that they have, is actually one of the few like named that's actually really good. Excuse me. But I mean, I'm excited to see like how he looks next to regular models, like in person, what his actual size is, because he looks fucking ridiculously big. He's not even in 30K. All the Primarchs are on a 40-inch base, and then they have a 60-inch scenic base. And from what you told me, it seems like Gilliman's on a 60-inch base just by himself.
It looks like it.
And he looks fucking ginormous next to regular models. So, I'm kind of excited about that. I want to see what it looks like, but I know I'm never going to play it. And if you want it painted, I'll paint it for you. That's fine. I have no problems with that. But
Yeah, I'm not too excited about what it's gonna do to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I am excited about the fluff that it's bringing. You know,
Yes.
they're talking about either the Emperor's spirit or consciousness
Mm-hmm.
um, being taking over Gilliman's body, or actually being released into the warp to become a new warp god that's on the side of Hope and the Imperium.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Just have to kind of figure out what Cypher's role in it. Everybody's saying that Cypher's going to Terra to
Kill
kill
the Emperor.
or to disconnect him from the Golden Throne, I guess you could say. Um, because I don't know if he's actually like alive. He's kind of just in stasis,
Yeah.
really. Um, so we'll see what happens. I am interested in the book, so we'll see if I purchase the book. If not, I'm sure one of us will, or we can pitch in halvesies or
Yeah.
whatever, just to get the book. But you get your own cipher piece, because if I get my own, that's mine. I've been a Dark Angels player from fucking my day one, and I need cipher.
But you know, speaking of the book, I do want to go and talk about the first Triumvirate book.
Mm-hmm.
This book brought three great models. Two of them very aesthetically pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
Not the biggest fan of the Greyfax, I believe her name was. She's a generic looking
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor, but Belisarius Call. Oh my god, the detail on this dude
Mm-hmm.
was fucking crazy. And then the Angel bitch, whatever her name is,
Saint Celestine.
yeah, she looked cool too.
Why am I
Um,
why am I always the one that remembers these names?
I don't know. But all I gotta do is say something obscure like Angel Bitch, and you know who I'm talking about. So,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, this book it did do one thing that GW, in my opinion, kind of messed up on. Is they you're now able to use Cult Mechanicus and Skitari in a single detachment, thanks to this book. Um, and then there's three detachments in this book. I forget the second one. It didn't really. I don't think it really appealed to me. But the last one,
Mm-hmm.
the last one's the powerhouse. It's the one I'm working on right now. Actually, recently got my first Imperial Guard pieces. I got a couple of Lehman Russes.
Mm-hmm.
Because with this list lets you take pretty much anything in the Imperium, except for Dark Angels and Blood Angels.
Okay.
And Grey Knights,
Mm-hmm.
with the exception of those three named um, Astartes chapters.
Mm-hmm.
You can take any of the chapter Astartes. You can take Imperial Guard. You can take Assassins. You can take Psychers. You can take Inquisition.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much anything in the Imperium except for those named Space Marines.
Mm-hmm.
And the HQ list is like 30 characters long because of all the named HQs from all the different armies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then if you do it right, if you get the right four, you can actually get four chapter masters with the large blast, strength 10, AP1 orbital bombardment.
Okay.
And then with the couple of Lehman Russes on your side of the table, you're gonna be dropping a shitload of large blast templates, all of them with the good to very good AP
Mm-hmm.
on your opponent's side of the table on turn one. And it sounds like a dick move, but I'm gonna be a dick.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna be competitive about it, yeah. I mean, I don't know how much. Like, that's the one thing that I've actually been wondering, and one thing that I haven't really paid attention to, that I have to, is on the competitive scene, because I'm not a real competitive player. I try to be, but I don't have enough to really be competitive to really stand against some of the better armies. Um, but I want to see how those, the what is it called, the Gathering Storm one, I forget the actual little
Oh, Fall of Cadia?
Fall Acadia. There you go. And then the second one, which is
Fracture of Beltan.
the Fracture of Beltan. Um, I wonder how much it has actually influenced competitive play. Now, the one thing is, we do not have the Fraction of Beltan
Yet. It's coming.
yet, because one of our buddies, Tony, the what we call him, the CEO of
The CEO of
Grimworks.
Grimworks. He's the money bags,
He's
the man behind the scenes, the
Mhm.
technical producer.
Yeah, he actually plays Harlequins, and we were putting together a few things. of course, me being so in love with bikes and stuff like that, I had to put together
Jet
the
bikes.
jet bikes that the Harlequins have. Um, so hopefully we'll get a list for him soon. And this is one of the things that we really wanted to hit upon is we want to know how much Warhammer, like how much you'd be interested in other Warhammer things that we do. Recently on our YouTube page, which is you can just search Grimworks on YouTube. We're listening to this if you don't know. You can go ahead and look at a few different army reviews that we've done. John's done 2 of them. I've done 1 of them. And hopefully, if you want to maybe show off your army, maybe give a little love to an army that's not as um, in the forefront of people's kind of competitive list, go ahead and contact us. There's 2 ways. Go ahead and leave a comment below. Uh, like and subscribe as well, but leave a comment below as well as you can also uh, contact us through email at citypod88@gmail.com.
Eric?
Citypod88@gmail.com. That's my best, Eric. Um,
You sounded hungry, so I believed it.
yeah. But go ahead and the title put Warhammer or 40K or something like that. And just let us know that you want to do that. We'll bring the equipment and we'll be ready to roll from there.
Yeah, if you want to show off your paint schemes, your paint jobs, if you want to show us a bad army that you've made good or a bad list that looks bad but ended up working really well.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that the favorite thing that I've seen since Magnus came out, which I'm working on a version of the list right now. It was very simple. It was Magnus with the Rahadi War Sect, which requires 3 sorcerers. Now that could be either regular sorcerers, exalted sorcerers, or demon princes with mastery level 3. Everything has to be mastery level 3.
Okay.
And then Magnus the Red.
Okay.
So this guy took Magnus the Red, 3 demon princes, all at mastery level 3, and then he took a CAD of chaos demons with just 2 units of blue horrors and simple herald of Zinch.
Okay.
And as long as your sorcerers are within 18 inches of Magnus the Red, they cast on 3s. Magnus cast on 2s.
Okay.
So he pretty much flew his army across the board, and every time he passed an objective, he would just summon a crap ton of demons onto the objective so that his opponent couldn't get it. I don't know. I didn't get to see the battle. I was just reading about it. I don't know how much damage he actually did to his opponent. I'm sure it was a decent amount. Zinch has a lot of shooting spells. But basically, he just grabbed those objectives and held the fuck onto them by summoning and summoning and summoning. And Magnus has access to all Zinch powers. So he can only summon Flamers, Exalted Flamers, and Burning Chariots, I believe.
Okay.
But he summons them on 2s. You throw it's Warp Charge 3. You throw 4 dice at it. You're more than likely going to get it the majority of the time. So every turn he was summoning like Exalted Flamers, and those things are really strong. They have Strength 9, AP 1, single shot, or Strength 7 or 6, AP 3 Flame template. And he summoned more Pink Horus to get more Warp Charges onto the field. It was just it looked weak. You know, you had a really big model, which cost 650 points. People probably looked at it and were like, is that really it? Like, you got a couple demons, that's it. And he ended up beating 2 war congregations, which is a stupidly broken list.
Okay.
He beat Eldar with a Wraith Knight, and I forgot what else. But he beat him. And he beat him hard with Magnus's long dick.
I mean, that's the thing is, I don't think in the competitive level, just because I'm pretty damn new to Warhammer. I mean, maybe a year? But even within that year, I haven't really played that many games as much as I would like. I work on Fridays and work late, so I can't always make it out to to the Redstar
Friday night
events.
fluff fights.
Yeah.
Redstar, by the way, is the local Warhammer group in San Antonio, Texas. We are members of this group, and there's some very sexy bitches in this group.
True.
Hopefully, we will be getting some of them onto our podcast to
bring a more experienced level conversation.
Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about because I called her the angel bitch.
No, but you definitely know more about it than I do. You play a lot more than I do.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing is, I want to get better at the game because I have to start thinking strategically. But I know what I have to get with the Dark Angels, and it's more bikes. It's just bikes on bikes on bikes. That I have to get, and Samael can't be as bad as he is. Like, every time I use him, he dies almost immediately. I think he can tank shit. He can't tank anything. So that's probably my first mistake. And I think I just have to really look into how I should be playing. What's the strategy behind him? And that really comes with more games. And
his sword, is that AP2 or AP3?
it is AP3, I believe.
AP3.
It is the Raven sword. Apparently it's like made of obsidian. So I painted mine with like some purple, edge highlighting with a black sword, and I was like, yeah, it looks cool. I'm down with that.
Fun fact: obsidian cuts at the molecular level.
I don't know anything about molecular levels of anything.
I'm a butcher. I know knives.
There you go. Boom. So we got a real life fucking blood for the blood guy over here.
Yeah. Cornflakes.
I like keeping secrets, so I'm more Dark Angels.
But hopefully we will have some of those guys on here.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we're gonna be having Tony talking about Harlequins, my cousin Matt talking about Grey Knights, Sad Eyes talking about Mechanicum.
Mark, yeah, he's on the City podcast, and Two Fools to Eat. Let's see if that comes back.
It probably won't.
We'll see. I'm holding out hope, but he does play Mechanicum, Adamek, Skatari. He doesn't play the Cult Mechanicus yet. But yeah, we have a good amount of people that can come in and give different sides to these armies. And hopefully we can start doing that on a more regular basis. Now, as for this podcast, like we said, this is kind of an issue zero, just so we can get it out there and see, put out some feelers for people. It's probably going to be, with the half-hour range or so. But as we get more and more into the rhythm of things, I wouldn't mind this podcast being about an hour or so. And really, at this point, we're probably going to try to shoot for at least once a month, towards the end of the month. This is going to be a weird issue or a weird episode, because it's going to be, you're listening to this on Thursday. So, when it comes to actual stuff, maybe we'll be back by the end of March with another episode, a longer episode, kind of recapping what's happened in March so far. And, if we find time, we may do something extra, like the videos that we had done. We kind of recorded those the spur of the moment, like both back to back. So that's where we're able to have them on the Grimworks channel, which you can still watch. I do Dark Angels, and the recent one for John was Iron Hands.
Iron Hands, yes.
And then way back, you'll have to look at you have to kind of go through everything that we've released. But late last year, there was, or probably mid last year, John did a Chaos. And this was before Trader Legion, so we might have to revisit that soon.
Yes, definitely. I was just thinking about that. One thing I do want to add to the podcast, I'm going to call it the Play of the Week, even though it's a monthly podcast. And this one comes to us from Roger X Acosta, otherwise known as X.
Yeah.
So this was a game he was explaining using the new Zinch rules.
Okay.
This is...
Closing my eyes just to visualize it.
This all happened on turn 1. Exalted Sorcerer number 1 cast Siphon Magic and summoned 10 horrors.
Okay.
Scarab Terminators cast Siphon Magic and summoned 10 horrors, giving Exalted number 1 1 warp charge. Because when you have Siphon Magic, anytime somebody within proximity casts a spell, you get an extra warp charge.
Okay.
So, Exalted Sorcerer number 2 cast Flesh Metal and summoned demons, giving Exalted Sorcerer number 1 and Scarab Terminators 2 extra warp charges apiece. Troop number 1, which would be Rubric Marines as they're called now, cast Treason of Zinch, giving Exalted Sorcerer number 1 and Scarab Terminator Squad extra warp charge. Troop number 2 cast Firestorm, giving Exalted number 1 and Scarab Squad an extra warp charge. Ahriman cast Flesh Metal, summoned demons, and Mutation, giving Exalted number 1 and Scarab each 4 warp charges. So, Scarab unit gained 8 additional warp charges to cast Firestorm. Exalted Sorcerer number 1 gained 9 bonus charges used to cast Flesh Metal and summon demons, adding 10 horrors, 10 bloodletters, 3 blood crushers, and a screamer unit on turn 1.
I'm looking at I actually have my eyes closed and I was taking everything in. I'm just seeing things materialize, and there's so many fucking demons. How did he do that? Fucking X, you're gonna have to be my fucking sensei and show me how to play this game.
And because of the new Traitor Legion's book, every time he cast a blessing, he gave himself +1 to his invulnerable save.
Jesus.
So he probably had those Terminators at a 2-up invulnerable save by the time that was all said and done.
That is insane. And if you have your play of the week, whatever it is, like we said, put in the comments below or email us citypod88@gmail.com, and in the title put 40K.
Play of the week.
Play of the week, whatever you like. And we'll put it live on air. Don't submit rules questions. Me and John are not that experienced.
No.
To take rules questions. Hopefully when we have somebody like X or Jay or anybody else that wants to come into the podcast, you can submit rules questions to them since they've been playing for a lot longer. But yeah, I didn't know about that play of the week, and I like that. I really like that.
I just came up with that right now.
Hey.
Dab.
You're terrible at dabbing. But I don't expect anything from you, really. Here's the thing. Everyone's gonna call me a fucking bandwagoner for this. But when Traitors Legion came out, I was like, I have to make a Noise Marines list. I have to make Emperor's Children. But John's known that my favorite Traitor Legion has always been
Emperor's Children. Ever since you read fucking old Screamo getting his first Scream on.
Hell yeah. That's bad. If you've never read what is it? Galaxy? Is that when it first
no,
comes out?
I think it was it Flight of the Eisenstein?
I'm thinking Flight of the Eisenstein as well, but I thought it was at least hinted at, or there was a small piece in Galaxy.
When that witch was flying around and what's his name screamed at her, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was falling on the floor. Eidolon, yeah.
Or Eidolon, whatever you want to say. Yeah, Eidolon screams back at her. But I don't know, because Garo sees that, and that's how Garo loses a leg. So I'm not sure if that was just a tidbit in Galaxy in Flames, or if that was just all Flight of Eisenstein. Either way, I fucking love Emperor's Children. And I have a unique color scheme that I want to give them. So I've loved Emperor's Children. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, finally, they actually seem cool. So hey, you got some Noise Marines, let me know. I'll take them off your hands because I want to start that as soon as possible. But I have so many projects that I want to get to. I still have to finish off my Dark Angels for sure, but I also have my Blood Angels because I love them as well. Then I want that the Emperor's Children. I want to start the Fallen. Because, hell, they're Dark Angels. They're my first love. I can't just let them go. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as, I kind of want to cover hobby progress, but I haven't had any. In terms of like this like last week, I was just working my ass off. Didn't have time for anything. I was just so tired. Once I got out of work, I was like, I'm not gonna paint anything. I'm not gonna do anything, assemble anything. But now that I've been assembling a little bit today, I kind of want to continue. So probably later tonight I'll
I
have some
know. I
more.
have the day off Wednesday, and I want to just build all my demons because I have a Lord of Change, a Demon Prince, and a unit of Pink Horrors that I got to build to make that my version of the Magnus army.
Jeez. All right. Get to it, bro.
Yeah, but my army is what I play. It's primarily Chaos, Space Marines, Demons. I love mixing the two together on a list. I feel like Chaos Space Marines maybe are a little lacking, at least up until Shared Legions came out
Mm-hmm.
without the demonic help.
Mm-hmm.
But I also play Iron Hands
Mm-hmm.
with a little bit of Adamec because I like Iron Hands fluff and the Flesh is Weak thing all works together. They really like each other, the Mechanicus and the Iron Hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Necron army, which I use for, or which I'm going to be using for tournaments because I play mostly Chaos, which means I mostly lose. And is that all I have?
I think so. Oh, you play Necrons.
Mm-hmm.
You play Iron Hands primarily. You play Chaos. Um, I think that's it.
I buy way too many toys. People, you have
Do.
no idea.
You do. You have a sickness. But that's what GW does to you. They're like, hey, here's a little taste, and you're like, fuck. Cause I was honestly, to share a little story. Uh, the Black Library has a app for, I think it's for Android as well as iPhone, but I have an iPhone, and I saw the audiobooks and I was like, you know, the Horus Heresy books are only like $30. I could probably buy like a couple and be okay. And then I was thinking like, fuck, I could probably buy some models for that. So I'm probably gonna save them for some models. And who knows, I might just buy that fucking Triumvirate and just keep it all. I don't know. At this point, I really don't know. But what I do know is that this has been Perils of the Warp.
Episode 0.
Episode 0. And yeah, give us some feedback. Of course, we need as much feedback as we can get with this podcast since me and John are fairly new to discussing Warhammer. We want as much feedback as we can. So again, comments, likes, dislikes, whatever. We need it all.
Send nudes.
That too. But
Looking at you, Jay.
I was also thinking about a sign off, but I don't know what a sign off would be.
Huh.
Since
I mean, our Destiny sign off, I really, really like. You know, it has to be something.
Back to the Eye of Terror.
That's too close to see you at the tower.
What about no double sixes? Fuck double sixes. We'll work on it, people.
Yeah.
And if, hey, you have suggestions, comments below. Remember, we said it like 5 times already. But my name is Roman.
I'm John.
And later, dudes.
Bye.